we're always going to look and ways to improve the team. We owe that to our fans. We owe that to ourselves. And I think our guys, I love our team. I love coaching our guys. We have a young team that's going to continue to get better. We can go on a nice run here, and with our experience, I don't think most of our core guys are not in their prime. I think you get to your prime 27, 28 years old, and then you can go on a nice 5-year run after that. It's 21, Otto's 23, John's 26. So we have a lot of younger guys that are not even in their prime. That's going to be a big part of our future.
And in the East, maybe that's the attitude to have. Like, you wait for LeBron to get old, all these guys will be in their prime.
It's a waiting game.
But it feels like you're just getting passed by if Boston all of a sudden goes out and gets Paul George and Gordon.
Maybe that's wrong of you. Maybe the Wizards look down and they say, well, we're improving, but we're just not going to beat the Cavs in the next 2 years, and we're not going to beat them in the next year or two.
But I'm adding the Celtics in the equation. You were at Game 7 in the Celtics. All right, so you're basically even with the Celtics. Celtics did advance. They had home court.
Right.
They advanced to make the Eastern Conference Finals. But you're knocking on the door of the Eastern Conference Finals. To me, all of a sudden there would be a big gap between the Celtics, Cavs, and then the Wizards.
Let them spend their money and assemble their super team that's going to lose to the Cavs, and we'll just be waiting for the next 3 or 4 years, and then the Wizards will be poised to strike.
Or maybe the Celtics reign.
Could be.
The Celtics, I think, have to deal with Isaiah Thomas next year. I think he's in the final year of a deal, and he's only making like $7 million.
Right.
But Gordon Hayward, Paul George, Isaiah Thomas, Al Horford, and the guys they have on the bench, Avery Bradley is a good defensive player. I mean, they already were the 1 seed.
Again, it's just talk. None of those guys have shown up yet. Have to see what happens. I mean, Paul George is being rumored to 5 or 6 different teams at this point.
Well, what I heard is that if they don't land Paul George and they land Gordon Hayward, they may just go Hayward, Blake Griffin.
Well, again, that's another piece. Another slightly overrated piece, in my opinion. Guy who gets injured all the time. Won't be there in the crunch time during the playoffs.
I don't know. We'll see what happens with Otto Porter. See how much he ends up making. He's going to become a very, very rich man.
Hey, look, Wizards fans have to be resigned to the fact that our big 3 right now are Wall, Beal, and Otto. That's what you have to build.
But the first 2 are very big.
Here's the thing. I don't even think 3 will do it.
I think you need 4 now.
I think you need 4 because
who's the 4th going to be?
Well, that's the problem.
Who's that guy?
Like Draymond Green doesn't score a lot, but he's a big silly.
Wait, he's Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, you got to have 4 if you want. If you want to win a title.
That's a unicorn. I mean, they got him in the second round, and everybody bypassed him. Nobody knew he was going to come
Cavs, you would say the Cavs have 3. Now the 4th is they have solid players. Tristan Thompson.
They have 3, but if they have to get George, they'd have to unload one of them. They'd be back to 3.
Right.
You're going to need 4. You need 4 sillies.
If you're going to take down Golden State.
Yes.
I'm not even worried about Golden State. Put Golden State aside. If the Wizards are to win the East.
You need 3 to be in the discussion.
Yeah.
2, you're just run-of-the-mill.
If the Wizards,
honestly, if you have 2 studs, you're run-of-the-mill.
If the Wizards added Paul George, I think they have a shot to beat Cleveland and to beat Boston. I do.
But they can't beat the Warriors with 3. You got to have 4.
Thanks for being on,
Stars.
George.
Probably so.
Yeah.
The Warriors there's a separation there. Yeah. Although, I actually think the series against Cleveland was closer than you think. I mean, Game 3 could have gone to Cleveland.
To an extent. But they just
you think the Caps are close, too. They're not that close. It's just an argument that we're always going to have.
Listen,
just like the Wall Kyrie argument.
They choke against the Penguins. They definitely, it's 100%. They choke against the Penguins. But talent for talent, I don't think they're that far off. They just choke.
By the way, so many people tweet me about my take on Kyrie versus Wall.
Right.
I just would like to reiterate this. First of all, they're very close. And it's not crazy or insane to say Kyrie Irving is better than John Wall. You may have a disagreement, but it's certainly not insane.
Right.
It's a conversation. They're very close players. And to me, the most important thing in basketball is scoring. It just is. That's why nobody would ever take Bruce Bowen as the number 1 pick in a draft. All right? That just doesn't happen. Nobody would take Avery Bradley over Bradley Beal. Would you take Avery Bradley over Bradley Beal, Cakes?
No chance.
No, but what does Bradley Beal do better than Avery Bradley? nothing except scoring.
Fills it up.
But you're going to take the scoring over the guy who's a better defender, a better passer, whatever. It's just difference of opinion.
You're preaching to the choir.
So, John Wall's an unbelievable player. I'm not saying he's not a great player. I just personally would take Kyrie slightly ahead of John Wall.
Love John's heart, though. I love everything about him.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to necessarily
great.
argue what you're saying.
And if they're able to land Paul George, then all of a sudden you have a championship contender. And I actually do like what we just heard from Scott Brooks when he joined us on the show. He said,
you
owe it to the fans, owe it to the players to explore.
You have an Eastern Conference contender.
Correct.
I don't think you have a championship contender.
It would be very tough. But you know what? Add Paul George, and then eventually you make something happen with Marcin Gortat. Yeah. You can't play defense on pick and rolls. Somehow you move him. Jan Mahimi's big contract. That's the problem. As Cake said, they're kind of stuck.
Well, that
salary cap wise.
That Mahimi contract, when the KD to DC thing fell through, I mean, that's just an albatross for the Wizards.
Not flexible.